that, they should never think that they're good enough to just come out here and just go through the motions. We ain't at that level.
For sure. And the wide receiver room, definitely the expectation was that it would be relatively deep coming into the season, but you don't really know until you actually play a game. What was your overall impression of the wide receiver group against Wyoming?
You know, it was the first time that I got a chance to see them play in live competition when it really mattered the most. I was happy to see them perform the way they did. Was it clean? No, not up to our standards, but I thought we did the little things right. We made the routine plays. We were great at doing that. We blocked our tails off down the field, but they put it on tape. You know, the thing that has to show week in and week out is being reliable, being competitive, and being tough. That's the words that they chose, what the identity they wanted our room to be. And I told them every week you have to see those characteristics in every game that we play. And I think we checked off all the boxes on that. We still got a long ways to go. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was a great start. You know, now sometimes with kids in college, you got to learn how to handle success. You know, some of these kids, they don't know yet. You know, they only know what they know. So that's why today I had to get after them a little bit. You know, I shouldn't have to do that, but sometimes you got to put your foot in their tail just to get them going. And we finished strong today at practice.
And you're a guy who obviously had a lot of success throughout your career. What kind of lessons from that are you able to kind of take and tell these guys who are college kids, like you said, and might not know how to handle success?
Well, it's just about having elite habits. You know, that's something that I've learned and taken with me over time. You know, they're young. They got playground habits. You know, they up and down. They want to do things right sometimes, but it's got to be all the time. It's got to take sacrifice. You know, if you really want to go where you want to go as far as getting some wins, getting an opportunity to play at the next level, you got to start establishing elite habits. And that's what you know, me coming into this building, there wasn't any great habits, you know, so just trying to be consistent on a day-to-day basis about the standards and the habits that they set for themselves. If we do that, you know, we're ascending in the right direction. Are we there yet? Not by any means, but I like where we're trending, and sometimes you just have to, like I say, put your foot in their tails a little bit and get them going. And they responded well. We finished off to a great practice.
Definitely, and you alluded to this a little earlier, but Mississippi State, an SEC team, lots of great athletes over there. What do you kind of expect to see from their secondary and their defenders against you guys?
Now they're long, they're tall, they can run. You know, they're going to get up in our face. They're going to challenge our receivers. It'll be a great test. You know, ASU haven't beaten an SEC school, and I don't think ever. Yeah. So why not try to see if we can be a part of history? But it's going to take us, all of us, and especially in our room, we have to make some plays. We have to get open and be reliable, like you know, some of the characteristics they wanted to come from our room. So you just got to keep grinding. You know, the thing about it is now moving forward, tomorrow's a walkthrough, Friday's Fast Friday. You know, so that's why it's imperative. The 2 days we get full pass to come out here and making sure we don't take a step backwards. Because that's the only time you really get to go out there and do some one-on-ones, and you know, you got the pads on and compete. But I thought we finished strong. We just got to do a better job of getting off to a fast start.
Sure.
What do you tell your guys after a practice like this, where you had to get into them a little bit earlier, and then obviously with the big opponent coming back on a Saturday, like at the end of practice when you were talking to your receiver room, getting out of here for the day? What did you tell them about like the way they practiced?
Wasn't good enough. I shouldn't have to get in your tails when you come out. You should already have purpose when you step on this practice field about getting better. I told them to bring the juice, bring the energy. Last night, said go get some good night rest, be in bed about 10 o'clock, get in your playbook. We came out here just lollygagging through practice. You know, we're not at that point to just be lollygagging at all. I mean, hell, we were 3-9 last year. So just the habits. I'm just trying to instill in these kids, man, you got to bring it each and every day. When you step on this practice field, it's all about getting 1% better. We didn't do that when we first started the period. So, you know, I hate even raising my voice like that, but sometimes, man, it's needed. You know, and I'm just trying to get it to the standards where I should never have to do that. They should want it. If I want it more than them, it's a problem. And today we got off to a slow start.
Are there any leaders in the wide receiver group with Melquan or Jake or the other older guys? You're kind of like,
yeah,
hey.
they're all leaders. Jake's Jake and Melquan, they're our vocal guys, but you know, sometimes it's hard to get in somebody's tail when you're like brothers, you know. But for me, I told them I'm not their friend. I'm their coach. I'm gonna get the most out of them, and I have very high standards, and they should have high standards for themselves. So that wasn't good enough at the start of practice, but thank God we turned around and finished. But you know, when we step on this field, it's got to be from start to finish. You know, just like a game, we're going to come out the gate fast and continue to turn it on as the game go on.
You alluded on Saturday that the performance of the wide receivers was good and they did little things right, but not quite up to your standards. What are the things that you kind of saw from Saturday's game against Wyoming, despite the big win, that you were like, hey, we need to clean this up?
We competed. You know, that was the main thing. Me being my first time live, seeing these guys, how they handle adversity, how they respond, how they reacted. Overall, I was impressed by that. You know, everybody was into the game. The players, I think everybody helped contribute, made some plays. I love our blocking, the way we were blocking downfield in the run game. We actually had some great blocks that sprung open some nice gains. So it's just a matter of being consistent. I was impressed by that, but every week's different. You know, that's the thing about football, man. It's got to get so monotonous that it becomes boring. You know, football isn't for everyone. So to do the same thing over and over and over, and to do it at a high level, sometimes that's hard to duplicate. You know, especially for a young kid, you have some success and you think you've made it, you got to come back and do it all over again. That's hard for a lot of young kids.
Is there any type of adversity that you expect to see against Mississippi State that maybe the team didn't get to see on Saturday?
I don't know. I mean, every week you're going to have some adversity. Thank God no one really got any, we didn't have any serious injuries or whatnot, so we made it out of the game pretty healthy. Did we have some mistakes? Yes, we had some mistakes, but we didn't let that overcome. I know Xavier had a false start, and then it came out and made a huge block on the long touchdown run. You know, yeah, it was good, the touchdown, but you know, why are you jumping off sides? You should be looking at the ball the whole time. So it's just the discipline, the little things like that just really irks me, because I want these guys to play as perfect as possible, even though I know it's hard to play a perfect game. But we can control that. All we have to do is just keep our eyes on the ball and stay on sides. We should never have a false start from the wide receiver position.
Just how impressed were a relatively clean game. You said, you know, you have to clean things up, or 4 penalties for 30 yards. It's still relatively impressive for a group that has struggled in that regard.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's hard to impress me. I mean, my standards are so high.
Sure.
But overall, I was glad to get that first game under our belt, just to see how those guys react to live situations. But we got a lot cleaning up to do. But the effort, the competitiveness, the toughness, being reliable, those are characteristics that we wanted. You know, after every game, when you talk about ASU wide receivers, we got after it in the run game. We had a hat on the hat. We made plays when opportunity presented itself, and overall, man, it was great just to see those kids experience and to go out and win 48-7. It's a great way to start the season, but I always have a 48-hour rule. You know, once it's 48 hours, you put it behind you. Now we got a SEC school coming into town, which ASU has never beaten an SEC school, so I want to be a part of that. I want to try to change that. So I'm going to stay on them, stay grinded on the wide receivers, and hopefully we can put this thing together and keep building and keep ascending in the right direction.
Did anyone particularly impress you with the lights on and the crowd and just seeing that all kind of come together in game time?
No. We still got a lot of work to do. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't up to the standards that I want us to be at.